KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A North Carolina man who was wrongfully accused of a rape is going to receive a massive settlement. Ronnie Long spent more than 4 decades in prison before his conviction was overturned in 2020. One of his attorneys revealed this week that the African-American man will receive at least $25 million from the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation and the City of Concord as a part of a settlement in a civil suit. The eastern part of the United States is cleaning up after a major storm left damage from the northeast to the deep south. Rivers from New England to the mid-Atlantic were at flood stage Wednesday because of heavy rain, and over 120,000 homes and businesses across the northeast were still without power last night because of damaging winds. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Did you know Discover wants everyone to feel special? That's why with your Discover card, you have access to 24/7 customer service, as well as $0 fraud liability, which means you're never held responsible for unauthorized purchases. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. Limitations apply.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers got 29 points each from Paul George and Kawhi Leonard last night to hold off Toronto. George scored 15 of his points in the fourth quarter. The Clippers are 11 games over 500 and are 14-3 since December 1st. Earlier Wednesday, the Clippers signed Kawhi to a 3-year extension worth $153 million. The deal will pay Kawhi an average salary of $51 million. The Lakers are at home tonight against Phoenix, 7 p.m. tip-off on TNT. USC's men's basketball team lost at home last night to Washington State. The Trojans lost by 8. USC freshman Bronny James was scoreless in 15 minutes off the bench. LeBron's son was 0 for 3 from the floor and finished with 1 assist and a turnover. Seattle became the 5th NFL team looking for a new head coach. Pete Carroll was fired Wednesday. The former USC head coach had been with Seattle for 14 years. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 and the Empowerment Congress, pursuing justice through participatory democracy. Listen to KBLA Talk 1580 Saturday morning, January 13th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for an exclusive forum featuring the candidates for LA County District Attorney. Join KBLA's Tavis Smiley as he helps navigate what promises to be a forum full of fire when the candidates trying to unseat current LADA George Gascon come together on stage on the campus of the Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science. Again, it's the LA County District Attorney Forum, live, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580, Saturday morning, January 13th, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Helping to raise your civic IQ. We're KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. The show is called First Things First. My first thing today and every single day, giving thanks, giving praise, asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Let's get this. We do have a lot to talk about. So much is on the table right now, and opportunities to gather, to celebrate, to get stronger, get some fellowship going. That's always a good thing when days are cold and politics are crazy. So, today is Thursday, and if you happen to be in Los Angeles, my friends, I will be celebrating Reverend James Lawson. He is getting the Reverend Lawson Mile on Adams Boulevard, and there's a little short march walk thingy. It starts at 3, 4th and Adams, and then we will march to Holman Methodist Church. So wear your flat shoes, and then there will be the unveiling of Reverend Lawson Way and a bunch of elected officials, and chance to see the movie Rustin for free. You can register on Eventbrite. You can look on my socials, the KBLA socials, KBLA 1580 on all platforms. Mine is DiPrima Radio, DiPrima, and then radio on all platforms. We're streaming right now on YouTube at KBLA 1580. And if you're new to the show, this is what we do. The first hour, we look to the left coast, what's happening on the Pacific side of town. Hour 2, we go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive with a person or persons of interest. I had the honor of speaking with Reverend James Lawson, actually New Year's Eve, and you'll get to hear those comments, that conversation, quite compelling as always, from really the premier scholar of nonviolence in activism, and one of the top advisors and teachers of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Of course, we're celebrating King's B-Day. You know that. I forgot to ask during the show because, well, there's a lot going on. But if you want to go on socials, on Instagram or, Twitter, I think. Instagram and Twitter is where it is. I posted the conversation I had with Council Member Heather Hutt about what's happening with the Kingdom Day Parade this year and this festival in Leimert Park, of which KBLA Talk 1580 is a co-sponsor. And, of course, the honoring of Reverend Lawson is a joint venture between the Office of Council Member Heather Hutt and the LA County Federation of Labor under the leadership of Yvonne Wheeler, two powerful black women leading massive swaths of Los Angeles, and they are uplifting this black man who well deserves his flowers. What a great way to kick off the Martin Luther King Jr. Day festivities. So much going on. Congratulations going out to Greg Doolin. He's got his grand opening happening today right on Crenshaw. You know, those of you who missed Doolin's on the Shaw, he's back, and wow, it's really beautiful in there. Also, a lot. I know there's other MLK things going on. You heard Pastor Smart at the beginning of the week talking about their interfaith breakfast coming up, their award celebration, their gala that's Sunday, which will include the inaugural Reverend James Lawson award. So that is going to be quite an event, and it will be given to Mark and Avis Ridley Thomas to honor their incredible work over the years in Los Angeles. And of course, on Friday, tomorrow, up at Kenneth Hahn Park, top of the hill, by the Martin Luther King Jr. Monument and Grove there, you will find the big announcement coming from KBLA Talk 1580. Big announcement around a massive initiative we are doing to take on the climate emergency. And let me tell you, this is something that is really special and important. I'm proud to be part of it because this is it says it on the promo. It is the king of it is the king of issues in a sense, because if we perish from not having a livable planet, well, all other issues kind of get some subsumed by that. Subsumed. I learned that word from my mama, the late Diane DiPrima, and I'm feeling her today because I'm wearing a pair of her earrings. If you're on the YouTube chat, you can see that I'm flossing mommy's amber. Really feeling, I guess, rest in peace, Diane DiPrima. Look who just walked in. I'm so honored and blessed to have one of our super duper activists with us in studio today. He is an artist. I know that's probably not the major intro that you want, but an activist. He is the pastor and founder of The Row, the church without walls, as folks call it, the street church. He is the founder of Creating Justice LA. Pastor Q, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, man. Always good to be here. Always good to be
Yeah,
here.
thanks for coming in. You got the row jacket on, so that means you're in action. That means you got a lot going on today.
Yeah. It was either this or public statement apparel. I decided to hurt the row.
Yes. Public statement apparel, of course, is.
That's Eric's joint,
Yeah, conscious shirts, and he was on our Wealth Building Wednesday, so you can go look it up on the podcast. So you have got a lot going on. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, you unveiled an amazing initiative, and it's it sounds fantastical. So you're going to have to take us on the journey.
Right.
You just took over a market.
Yeah, well, we haven't taken it over yet, but the family wants to transition it to us, and we are actually raising funds to be able to do that. We're on a 90-day track to make that happen. The story is interesting because it's a second-generation Korean American brother. His name is Danny Park, and they've been in Skid Row. Their family's been in Skid Row since 1995, so for about 29 years now, going on 30 years, a couple years after, a few years after the uprising, right? And so this is a Korean family. I met Danny when a friend of his mom is actually goes to our church. She's on the praise team. Her name is Kay Kang. Her son Andrew came to me and said, "Hey, Kay came to me and said, my son wants to, with his friend, they want to start a coffee shop in Skid Row." So, I helped him through the process and everything, and got to know Danny. He started coming to our book club called, we were going through The Color of Law, which is about, basically redlining and how, folks came to be what it is. But we developed a relationship, and Danny took over the market in 2018 and changed it from Best Market to Skid Row People's Market, kind of being inspired by what he was learning through the activism and through the learnings. He started bringing in more food. It's turned it just from a little grocery store or a little corner store to a full service market, right? And with using the space that they have, which was limited, but he started bringing in just healthier foods and different things like that. They give the community credit, because most people don't know that Skid Row is a housed and unhoused community, right? There are homeless folks and there are folks who are housed. 9,000 folks are housed in single residency occupancies, and then about 4,000 folks or more are unhoused.
Those SROs are the big hotels, right?
Right. SROs.
And people are just living they're living in a room.
Yeah. Basically.
Maybe their own bathroom, maybe a shared bathroom.
Maybe, right.
Yeah.
Some of them have good facilities, but some of them are no bigger than a jail cell.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And so you can imagine during peak weather seasons what that could be like for folks, and that's why a lot of folks are always on the streets.
Right, and I always wondered, because in New York, when you see the little corner stores like the liquor store markets, they have fruits and stuff like that. And out here, no, you can get Black and Milds, you can get liquor, and you can get chips.
Well, you can get that at Skid Row People's Market. You can get
well, of course, but you can get fruits, right? And I always wondered, why don't we have that here? This is sunny Cali, but no, in New York, every little bodega, at least they got some food,
right,
that could actually sustain you. That's not like nuked and packaged.
So
wow. So okay. So they said they wanted to somehow transfer, they wanted you to buy the market, basically, and make it easy for you to buy it?
Yeah, so a couple months ago, Danny came to me. He said, Pastor Q, you're the first person I'm going to talk to about this. I talked to my family, and we've decided to sell the market. I said, cool, man. We'll find you somebody. I'll work with you and try to help you find somebody. He said, that's cool. But he said it has to be a black person or somebody from the community.
Oh, you overly educated him. He's like, the color of law. I must.
So I said,
owners.
talk to him about it a little bit. He goes, yes, because, we really want to get back to the community. Our family has been able to purchase a home. We've been able to go to school, right? The community has supported us, and so we want to give back in this way. And so it's not a one a transaction that is give and take, right? It's not a one-way transaction. So I said, okay, let me see if I could talk to some folks, and we'll see if we can find you a buyer. And he goes, I don't want someone to come in who just strictly focused on profits, but I want someone to come in who's strictly focused on people. And if you know Danny, you know his heart. He's a real one. And so I came to him a week later, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should purchase the market. And he got excited about that. And I was there, and then a couple of days after that, I was like, you know what, Danny? I think maybe Creating Justice should purchase the market.
Ah, the nonprofit. Yeah.
And I was like, because that way it's not one person owning it, right? And it's the community, and so there's so much we can do with a social enterprise. Then when I said that, he really got excited, right? And he's on the board of Creating Justice.
Wow.
So
he knows all the ins and outs. And
exactly.
When we come forward, I want to talk about how you're going to make that happen, how you're making it happen.
Right.
I also want to look at this model of collective ownership that you are really stepping out on, not just in the market, but in the Hip-Hop Smoothie Shop.
Yeah.
And what that really means, like what that model represents,
right.
how it can be, how it works. A lot of people don't realize it. It's like I get mine, or there's no other option. Right. So we'll talk about that and so much more. Great to see you. Pastor Q is in the studio. Call if you want. I'd love to hear from you. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. We are unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. So, what are you doing this Friday morning? How about you come join the KBLA delegation as we make a historic announcement and unveil our climate justice campaign for 2024. We'll be assembled for this major press conference along with LA Mayor Karen Bass, Ben Jealous, Executive Director of the Sierra Club, and a host of other public and private leaders who are joining us on this journey to justice, climate justice. We can't think of a better way to kick off the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday weekend, linking social justice and climate justice. So, come join us this Friday morning at 10:30 a.m. at the beautiful MLK Memorial Tree Grove at the top of Kenneth Hahn Park off La Cienega. Once again, that's this Friday morning, January 12th at 10:30 a.m. as we take on the task of elevating the climate conversation by amplifying the voices of those who are most impacted by the climate catastrophes we are all witnessing in real time. KBLA delegation, we hope to see you this Friday morning at KBLA Talk 1580. Climate is king. Climate is king. Climate is king. Climate is king. Climate is king.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Are you interested in catching up on all the latest entertainment news, trending topics, and exciting interviews? I got you. Tune in to The Raw Report with Robin Ayers, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. I'm your host, Robin Ayers. Join me every weekday with some of the best entertainment contributors in the business as we break down what's going on, who's got next, and what not to miss. only on The Raw Report with Robin Ayers.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm-fresh taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, and organic. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, you know, I never have asked you this. Where does the name Pastor Q come from? Because your government name is something else.
It's Stevens with a PH. It's Stephen Q. C.L.U.E.
Right, because you're Caribbean, brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the diaspora. I'm a Marcus Garvey person, man. What y'all talking about?
So where does Pastor Q come from?
Q comes from the College Boys, when I was with the College Boys.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my stage name.
Right. So you just carry it on as a pastor?
People just got used to calling me that, and I got used to it, right, after all these years. So I never changed it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So say your last name again.
C.L.U.E.
C.L.U.E.
Yeah, so it's like Wyclef Jean. So you take the Jean, and then Maui is like the island in Hawaii.
Okay.
C.L.U.E. So it's French with a Ghanaian accent, basically.
All right. A lot of ancestors walking around in that.
You know, the colonizer's name.
So, so talk to me about this model that you are working inside of it. Would you call it a co-op?
So we just opened the Peace and Healing Center in May in Skid Row, right? And so in that we focus on social healing, economic healing, environmental healing. And so for us, what we do is we try to find alternatives to capitalism. Right, one of the alternatives is the Hip-Hop Smoothie Shop, being that I'm a former hip-hop artist or still a hip-hop artist, whichever way you want to say it.
No, you still, because hip-hop is like the loonies told me, it's like the mafia. Once you can't get out.
Yeah, so, but we have the Hip-Hop Smoothie Shop, which is a worker-owned cooperative. And the store it's a for-profit currently, and so once we take it over, we'll probably leave it the way it is for a minute, just so we can figure out, because we want community input, right. Into how we should function. And you don't see that a lot, but we want to hear from the community regarding, the models. And then, so for us, that's a social enterprise, and there are benefits both ways, because if you have a social enterprise, if you have a nonprofit that owns a for-profit, then you have a tax shelter, right? You still have to pay taxes.
And it's a way of funding the nonprofit, right?
Exactly, and putting the money back into the community.
So you still have to pay taxes, but it's in a different category.
Right, it's in a different category. And then you pay taxes on the goods, right? And then you also have the cooperative is different, because the cooperative does not have a tax shelter.
I see.
Yeah.
So it's
just
a regular
business, but a different model.
Which is weird, because I would think it would automatically be a social enterprise by being a worker-owned co-op.
Right, but
that's not how.
That's
not how the IRS sees it.
Exactly. But we want to do things in the community that creates new systems, right, and new way of doing things, and perhaps some of those things will be adopted at some point.
So a worker-owned cooperative, the profits go back to the folks that work there.
Yeah, well, they decide. There's a board, just like any executive board, right? One member, one vote. So if you put $10,000 in and somebody put $20,000 in, you still get one member, one vote. Doesn't matter how much you put in. You may get more a return on your investment, but you're not going to get more power.
That's an interesting and important distinction.
Yes.
And then the nonprofit owning a for-profit means that is a socially innovative enterprise,
right,
which could feed the nonprofit. But I think another equally important aspect of that is those things that the community has come to rely on through the business model of extending credit or keeping some foods that keep people alive in there. That can continue.
Yeah, like we have the Church Without Walls. So our church, we do microloans to our members, right, without any interest.
Microloan is a small amount, very tiny amount of money.
Right. So like
to get someone through a crisis or whatever, help them start something.
Like, so one of our members needed to go to Boston for Christmas to visit family, right? We're Church Without Walls. We don't have walls, but people don't know our impact, right? So we were able to give him a loan to go see his family, and then gets back and pays it, just like a tithe, right?
It's the opposite of the check cashing corner model.
Exactly.
Where you have to give up your firstborn.
Yeah, we're not trying to extract wealth out of people, right? It's kind of like the store. The store is not a place where we're trying to extract wealth, and we didn't want it to go to a private, a private owner, so that they can be so focused on profits that the store doesn't even sell liquor.
Really?
Right. It's amazing. It doesn't sell liquor, and it's been there for, like I said, 29 years. It survived the pandemic, right?
Wow.
And so, it's amazing.
So where is the store?
The store is on 5th and San Pedro.
And is that in the Nickel?
No, it's down the street from the Nickel. We're in the Nickel with our Peace and Healing Center.
Right.
And the store is about 2 long blocks.
Okay.
From that on 5th, but San Pedro. So.
Okay, so tell me about this fundraising process, like what you're doing to get the ends to buy this thing.
So obviously, behind the scenes, you got to talk to a lot of different people, right, to try to get that. So we're doing that. On February 3rd, we have a concert at First Congregation. First Congregation is a huge church in L.A. We're having a Dr. King concert, and they're going to raise funds for Creating Justice. Also, we have a fundraiser online that we just launched, and BLM Los Angeles has just committed $5,000.
Nice.
To that. So we're trying to raise about $300K.
So these are donations to the nonprofit.
To the nonprofit.
Which means it's tax deductible.
Right.
For those of you who, qualify for a tax deduction.
Yeah. And we'll use total, we're trying to raise $300K, but we'll use, the vast majority of that to purchase the store. And then, obviously, when folks come in every day at the Peace and Healing Center, they get free coffee, they get free water, right? They get to sit down and enjoy the internet while they're trying to, to deal with the weather and different things like that.
It's been crazy cold.
And then they go shopping for free. We have clothes racks, so they go in and people come in, even people who are housed, they come in and they're like, oh, I likes that, and they go shopping.
Right. If you're living in an SRO, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not super rich.
Exactly.
So I'm sure everybody benefits from that.
Indeed.
And so those donations help sustain your ability to do that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It is a bit of an oasis. When you hear Peace and Healing Center, it sounds like, they're going to sit around and talk about, how to save the trees. But you could actually walk in there, and there's a meditation space.
Yeah, there's a meditation room, and on Thursday nights we have Off the Top Thursdays, where you come and you spit your best 16. Open mic, basically.
Do you perform there?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
They always, every week, they're like, Pastor Q, do something. I'm like, no, I'm good.
So
a lot of talent.
So when people wear you down, that's when you perform.
Exactly.
And and I'm sure there's plenty of talent on Skid Row. I mean,
the other day I saw one of the guys from Far Side on Skid Row.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, artists are always in peril of, extreme poverty. I know. I grew up as the daughter of artists. I always say lifestyles of the poor and famous.
Exactly. Exactly. And some people in Skid Row look poor and famous.
Yeah, and both are possible.
Yeah, both are possible.
It's not just it's not just the Taraji P. Henson level. There's a couple levels down from that, where the face, but stay on on food stamps or even just not eating.
Got to survive.
Yeah.
You got to survive.
Yeah. So if people want to donate, and we just got 20 seconds, so I guess you can answer on the other side of news, traffic, and sports. But I want to know like how people can donate to the People's Market and how they can donate to the incredible work. I know the city of Los Angeles supports that center, but as you say, the free coffee flowing every day ain't free. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Former President Donald Trump won't likely be speaking during closing arguments of his civil fraud trial today in New York City. Trump made the request last minute, but the judge overseeing the case set strict limits on what Trump could say. Specifically, no campaign speech, no talking about irrelevant matters, no attempts to introduce last-minute evidence, and no disparagement of the court and staff. The Pentagon has confirmed that Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin was admitted to the ICU with complications from a treatment for prostate cancer. Austin was apparently diagnosed with prostate cancer in December and underwent a minimally invasive procedure to treat it. Days later, he was admitted to Walter Reed on January 1st with complications from the procedure. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Did you know Discover wants everyone to feel special? That's why with your Discover card, you have access to 24/7 customer service, as well as $0 fraud liability, which means you're never held responsible for unauthorized purchases. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. Limitations apply.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers got 29 points each from Paul George and Kawhi Leonard last night to hold off Toronto. George scored 15 of his points in the fourth quarter. The Clippers are 11 games over 500 and are 14-3 since December 1st. Earlier Wednesday, the Clippers signed Kawhi to a 3-year extension worth $153 million. The deal will pay Kawhi an average salary of $51 million. The Lakers are at home tonight against Phoenix, 7 p.m. tip-off on TNT. USC's men's basketball team lost at home last night to Washington State. The Trojans lost by 8. USC freshman Bronny James was scoreless in 15 minutes off the bench. LeBron's son was 0 for 3 from the floor and finished with 1 assist and a turnover. Seattle became the 5th NFL team looking for a new head coach. Pete Carroll was fired Wednesday. The former USC head coach had been with Seattle for 14 years. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
There are many things to love about winter. Cozy sweaters, celebrations, and family time. But winter can also bring many stressors, extra expenses, seasonal bugs, and so much family time. If you and your loved ones are feeling stressed or anxious this winter, CalHope can help. Check out our free mental health resource at calhope.org today.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look. And unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So, let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California, once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at a gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event. Or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Of
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket, just like our customer Jaron.
I'm the singer and guitarist in a band, and I use my Cricket phone for everything. It's basically like another band member.
Don't miss a single beat. Switch today and get a free Samsung Galaxy A14 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Real customer paid for testimonial. Must bring your number to Cricket on up to a $60 a month voice plan depending on device. Select models only while supplies last. First month service charge and tax due at sale. Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See store for details.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
College Boys coming to you for the year 2000, covering all sectors of the universe. Creep through the hood with my drop top. Gangsters on the sidelines, throwing up nothing but a peace sign. Brothers on the curb with the herb. Levi's knee-high, OG's clock as I creep by. Crib to crib, grown-ups to kids, girls I did. They all know me, so the ghetto stays cozy. Fiends and teens sport a couple of trophies. One for the dope man, the other for the homie. The ghetto's a real cool place to be fucked up. Sundown to sun up, but that's the way we come up. You talk with the street slang, you ball and you gang bang. That's where the family hangs. So
yeah, whoops, you should have worn Miles. But we can get through the chorus for sure.
That's the only word in there. The only one word, one time.
Yeah, so the radio edit wouldn't be hard with just one word.
Yeah.
Okay, that's College Boys. That's your group. From DJ Q to Pastor Q.
Yep.
But DJ Q still lives.
Yeah.
Because I see you
sometimes.
DJing at
Yeah.
rallies and
Exactly.
yeah. Do you miss it?
No.
No.
Yeah, because I think, what we're doing is a lot more fulfilling, right? I mean, I like it, right? And I enjoy it when I do it, but this work is a lot more fulfilling to me.
When obviously, well, let's talk about the many actions because, we always say celebrate our victories, but I don't think we do it enough.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a lot going on, which is maybe why you don't miss touring with the College Boys, right? Everywhere I look,
Right.
You're, are you a member of C.L.U.E?
Yeah, I actually been working for C.L.U.E part-time for 10 years.
Okay, so you work
Yeah, so that's
part-time
how I
for
took
C.L.U.E.
care of myself while pastoring the church without walls in Skid Row without
Right.
pay
Right, because, obviously.
for like 14 years.
Right, because tithing from negative number
Right,
comes
right,
out to
right.
you owe
Yeah.
money.
But ironically, now I'm getting a small stipend from the church.
Nice.
Started about 3 years ago. So
That's amazing. I mean, that's
Yeah.
really as it should be.
yeah.
But I don't think we're going to see you driving a Rolls.
No, it's not going to
Or
happen.
having a
even
private plane.
Even if I had the even if I had the resources, that wouldn't happen.
So talk to me about some of the actions that, because you have the Row, the Church Without Walls, you have the church, and then you have Creating Justice LA. Those
Right.
are two separate entities.
Right.
Then you're working with C.L.U.E. and
Right. Yeah. So with
Black
C.L.U.E,
Lives Matter and all these other
Yeah,
groups
yeah,
that you
yeah.
support.
So yesterday I was at Black Lives Matter EPA rally, right?
And police associations, yeah.
Rally. So we provide the sounds. Church Without Walls provide the sounds and different things like that. And then on February 19th, for C.L.U.E, we're having the Black and Brown. I'm co-convener of the Black and Brown Clergy and Community Coalition. So we're having the Black and Brown Latino Soul Food Brunch. It's the King Chavez Latino Soul Food Brunch, and it's in collaboration with SCLC.
Right. Pastor Smart was talking about that on Monday. It's on February 19th.
Yeah.
How do people get tickets or come, or where is it?
So it's I should be ready.
Okay, we'll look it up.
Yeah, it's at Heritage Church in South Central.
Okay.
And
yeah, we'll look it up.
Yeah.
Heritage Church on February 19th.
February 19th from 11 to 1:30.
So you're a collaborator on that.
Yeah. So I'm the co-convener of the Black and Brown.
Do you feel like that Black and Brown unity is holding? It seems like the pressure on that coalition because of the what's going on at the border and the conversation amping up.
Yeah, that's why we have the coalition, because one of the things we've highlighted throughout the years is that the folks at the border are not just brown folks; they're also Black folks.
Yeah.
Right. And so the media usually shows you one picture, but on the ground, because I've been to Tijuana, I've been to see the caravans, right, and serve the caravans. So I know for sure that there are Africans and different folks, and we were surprised that there were so many Black folks. There's a place in Mexico called, Little Haiti, right?
Yeah.
So because of all the migration.
But now, you even have some tension sometimes between Black Americans, and maybe I shouldn't say now, maybe it's always been there, and Black immigrants.
Absolutely. Even I'm from the Caribbean, and folks will tell me certain things. Black people in America are lazy, or different things like that, and I'm like, what are you talking about? You're colonized. You've been brainwashed, right? Because you don't understand. You came to America as a choice, right? African Americans didn't come to America as a choice, right? Now, if you go back to the Caribbean, we know our history, right? So my great-grandmother's great-grandmother came from Ghana, right, as a child, 11 years old. She. So we didn't even
of her own accord?
No.
As an enslaved person.
As an enslaved person.
Yeah.
Right? And so Mabishi, right? And so usually when people say, well, the problem is the Black family, I'm like, the Black family is a new phenomenon in America.
Right, because by law,
right,
we were not allowed to have families.
Yeah, come on now.
And the more you learn about, not only not allowed, but actually separated, killed, bred like cattle.
Yeah, you sound like Reverend DiPrima now.
Sorry.
Putting it down. But yeah, so.
Yeah, so, yeah. I mean, but, and you'll hear it in the final hour of the show today, I will be playing an interview that I did with Reverend James Lawson, and actually he addressed that a little bit. And it's interesting because you guys have a similar take about the work that needs to be done with Black immigrants or migrants.
Yeah. And we do that work. I've worked with Baji and
Black Alliance for Just Immigration.
And Haitian Bridge.
When you say do that work, what is that work?
Well, we've gone to Adelanto and advocated for them to release folks, because folks who are immigrants are not prisoners, right? They're not.
Right, but I mean, as far as like raising the consciousness of Black migrants so they can get off that Black people are lazy, Black people are criminals, they watch too much TV. Or
we do that work too by educating folks.
Yeah.
Right. So that's some of the work we do. But with the breakfast coming up, what we're gonna have Kenneth Mejia, the city controller, who's gonna come and give Black and brown folks a perspective of how the budget of the city affects us, right? Everything from helicopters, public safety.
Oh, that should be fascinating.
We're talking about housing, right? What's happening in terms of the housing and how is all that stuff working? The city controller has to hold the city accountable. So he's going to give us a broad perspective.
Yeah, that should be fascinating.
Yeah.
So we were talking about how we're going to pay for this
store,
the People's Market. How can people help? Like, is there a website
other
than coming to your fundraiser on the you say the 19th? No, the 3rd is the fundraiser.
Yes, February 3rd. Yeah, so folks can go to creatingjustice.la, and on the top banner there's a People's Market, Skid Row People's Market. Just click that banner, it'll take you to a place to donate, give you a description of what it is, and you can donate there for the fundraiser. And
you can any amount, like from $1 to a
Yeah,
million is
and
welcome.
And we're also looking for folks who want to partner with us, right? Some folks may want to give on a regular basis. I don't care if it's $1 or whatever. What we want to do, it's not just, we don't just want folks to give, but we want folks to be engaged, to really understand that we're not going to solve our house list or our issues, especially here in Los Angeles, with, looking to politicians to do it, right? We have to do it collectively.
Yeah,
right?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Looking, pointing the finger,
exactly.
blah, blah, blah. But nevertheless, so obviously you're a nonprofit. They can donate.
Yep.
And they can write it off their taxes.
Absolutely.
But what else can they do? Like, can people volunteer? Can you say engagement? What does that look like?
Yeah, you can come volunteer. We are open Mondays from 9 to 2. We're open Wednesdays from 9 to 2.
You're talking about at the Healing Center.
At the Peace and Healing Center,
Peace and
right?
Healing
So
Center.
we're open on Thursdays in the evening for our open mics. We're open on Fridays for Freestyle Fridays where folks can play games and everything. We have a large group of elderly folks in the community. So we want folks to come in and engage with them, right? Sit with folks, play with folks, have conversations. We're actually counseling folks, right? Folks who are dealing with issues. It's a place of conversation where folks can come in. So we feel like with all of those people living in that small vicinity, we're hoping that, I tell people, pastors and churches, I said, your members can come and develop relationship with some of these folks to kind of, sometimes what people need is connection.
Yeah, for
right?
sure. I mean, we saw that during the height of COVID where
exactly.
people, especially young people, and elders just withered because they didn't have that human connection.
Yeah, and opioid use went through the roof.
Yeah, wow.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you think about that, and a large number of folks who passed away from overdose in Skid Row last year, right, or in the past 3 years, a lot of them, it tells you that if folks are connected, right, then drug use is decreased, right? So
yeah. So it sounds like the word got out immediately about the Peace and Healing Center.
Yes.
It didn't take. You didn't have to do a big advertising campaign.
No, we didn't do
the
any
hood grapevine
advertising.
kicked in.
Yeah, but what it is in the nickel right there. So folks are walking by all day. They're, so they just kept coming in. Even our open mics, a lot of people there, and we didn't advertise it.
Yeah.
We've never done a flyer for the open mic. Folks just walk in, word of mouth gets out. We've got regular folks who come on a regular basis. You got people who took it upon themselves to cook. Big Mama, she just cooks.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
I mean, you think about it. It's not just a food desert on Skid Row. For people without money, it is a culture desert. So
exactly.
I'm sure that makes sense that people would be attracted to that.
Yeah, and we're bringing some of that stuff. LA can't bring some of that stuff, but we are seeking to transform the entire community because it's our anti-gentrification move, right? When we purchase Skid Row People's Market, that's going to help us with gentrification.
So, and you are partnering with folks. I know you're partnering with LA Civil Rights for the Healing Justice Center for the People's Market. It sounds like you, me, everyone is being asked to be the partner right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's a thing in the scripture that says, wherever your treasure is, there will your heart be. So even if you gave $1, you'll think about that place because you gave something to it, right? And you'll seek to go see what's going on.
Yeah.
And for the most part, before General Jeff passed away,
rest
his
in
soul.
peace. Yes.
Yeah, rest in peace. One of the things he had an issue with, he was like, how come I don't see many black pastors here, and especially the ones who are the ones who have prominence. Where are they? And yesterday at the press conference, we had Clergy for Black Lives and Reverend Saul and Pastor James, who is also president of the NAACP in San Fernando Valley, and pledging that they're going to help champion this thing.
Nice.
With the faith community. So yeah.
Organizing people and pastors. I love it.
Come on, man.
Pastor Q is in the studio continuing the conversation. You're invited in if you've got question, commentary, or just want to do some of that fellowship stuff. 800-920-1580. We are KBLA Talk 1580, 40 acres and a mic.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Do you have both Medi-Cal and Medicare?
If so, the new LA Care plan called Medicare Plus can help you get the most out of your health plan for $0.
LA Care provides personalized service to Angelinos like us.
Plus, it gives us access to doctors and specialists across Los Angeles County.
For zero cost, we get access to full benefits.
From vision coverage,
in-home support services,
to prescription drug coverage and a quarterly over-the-counter allowance.
plus personal equipment.
Meal programs,
a gym membership,
and so much more.
For more than 25 years,
LA Care has provided Angelinos with access to quality health care at an affordable cost.
For our families,
our seniors,
our community,
it's a plus.
It's a plus
for all of us.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket, just like our customer Jaron.
I'm the singer and guitarist in a band, and I use my Cricket phone for everything. It's basically like another band member.
Don't miss a single beat. Switch today and get a free Samsung Galaxy A14 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Real customer paid for testimonial. Must bring your number to Cricket on up to a $60 a month voice plan depending on device. Select models only while supplies last. First month service charge and tax due at sale. Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See store for details.
She's so smooth. So I'm interrupting my own shower to remind you to treat your skin like the queen she is with Olay Hyaluronic Body Wash. Packed with Olay's highest level of vitamin B3 complex. It's so moisturizing that it will give you visibly smoother, head-turning skin in just 14 days. People wondering, how'd she get so smooth? Olay Hyaluronic Body Wash. Also, try Olay Hyaluronic Body Lotion.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the exclusive media sponsor of this light of ours, activist photographers of the Civil Rights Movement. A dynamic new exhibition on view now at the Skirball Cultural Center in Los Angeles. This light of ours showcases more than 150 photos taken by movement insiders from diverse backgrounds that reveal the vital work undertaken by a broad coalition of organizers and everyday people whose collective action changed America. This light of ours is one of 3 temporary exhibitions currently on view at the Skirball, which together explore issues related to civil rights, immigration, and pluralism. Tickets and more information for all 3 exhibitions are available at skirball.org. That's skirball.org. SKIRBALL.org.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Man, there's so much going on here. I'm tempted to do a speed round and just get your quick take on a few things. Maybe we can get to that. I do want to ask you, though, because it's still the start of the year and people are setting their intentions, setting their goals, hopefully reflecting from a pastoral standpoint. I mean, I think, how do you stay inspired? How do you inspire people on Skid Row who may be, really facing some challenges that most of us don't even think about?
Well, I like to say that hope is the expectation that good is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They say, the cliche is trouble don't last always, right? We go through things. We don't stay in things.
Yeah. Some people get stuck, but yeah.
Some people get stuck.
Yeah,
but even those who get stuck have those moments where they can break free.
Right.
And they go back in.
And the conditions don't stay the same.
Right.
That's a mind. Your mind is stuck.
Right.
So hope, if hope is the expectation of good things coming, that's what you foster.
Yeah, of course I have a relationship with Jesus, right? So for me, I have a relationship with the wool, the hair of wool and eyes of fire and feet of bronze. I say the black Jesus, the glorified Jesus, right? So, so for me that inspires me, and watching and seeing what other folks have done, right? Our ancestors inspire me.
Yeah,
those who've come before us, and knowing that we're not here to fix anything. We're here to make an impact.
What's the difference?
The difference is that if you think you can fix something, then what happens is when you're gone, then someone else can undo what you've done. And even what you've done can be improved upon.
Right.
Right. So we're here to make an impact. And all of us making that impact is important.
What do you, when you look at 2023, what do you feel like was maybe a highlight in terms of a victory for your work in the movement?
Man, I think for me is that I left it in my right mind. That's a highlight.
That's a victory, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because there are a lot of people who are not in their right minds, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that we can still enjoy the creation, whatever is left of it.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're you eat healthy, you work out, you do all these creative enterprises, like, so you must have a pretty optimistic outlook.
Yeah.
Even though you have positioned yourself or chosen to work in maybe one of the potentially most pessimistic spots.
Right.
In the in the United States, right? Yeah. On LA Skid Row.
Yeah, but people in Skid Row inspire me all the time, right? Like some folks will come into Peace and Healing Center and start cleaning up, right? You got folks who come in and bring stuff and give back, right? Even at our church, we have folks who come in and they'll give 2 pennies, right? And to me, that's more than $1 million.
Because it's what they have.
Because it's what they have. And, in workout, to give a workout illustration, I think God inspired this on me, but I used to not have people give anything, and when they gave it to me, I'd be like, no, I don't want it. And I felt like God inspired in my spirit one day. He said, you work out and you're a personal trainer. What happens if you work one muscle and don't work the other muscle, the agonist and the antagonist? You have to work them both because they have a supporting muscle. So if you have people give all the time, their receiving muscles get huge, and then they injure their giving muscle, which means they never give, and they become selfish people, right? So you have to learn how to be balanced and practice what you preach.
I mean,
right?
yeah, that and that's like it seems like literally blocking your blessings. If someone tries to give you $1 and you say no,
exactly.
Oh, you want some coffee? No, I'm good.
Yeah. Because you think it's about the amount, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's about the process. And what that person receives and what you receive. You're both working out
reciprocity.
Together.
I mean, too.
On.
That's
yeah.
Okay, so it's really cold. Ventura County just declared a state of emergency. The surface high, those giant waves. Yep. It's been cold. Okay, I know it's not cold to you guys on the East Coast, but for folks on Skid Row, that's serious business, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and so folks can come into Peace and Healing Center today, right? We've got open mic today. They can come in. They can chill, especially when it gets later. Right? It's going to get really cold.
Really early and really late. It's cold. And what's the address of the center again?
116 East 5th Street.
116 East 5th. It's really beautiful. It's a beautiful space.
Oh, yeah. That's what most people say when they come in.
Yeah.
And we've had Dr. West came by. He loved it. Dr. Cornell West.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. Yeah. One of the things you do, we only got, maybe I should just turn this over to you, but one of the things you do, you spend a lot of time protesting police violence. Got a chase in Carson last night, several car crashes from one high-speed police chase. They're chasing a stolen vehicle. I wish they would stop doing that. They say they weren't in pursuit at the time, but they had set off the chain of events that had this suspect, in air quotes, fleeing. When you hear stuff like that, what do you think about?
Well, I think that we have to, as a society, we have to stop allowing law enforcement to use people as collateral damage. Because we think finding someone or catching someone who just committed a crime is worth putting people in danger. Our church is on 5th and San Pedro. We're right behind the police station in Skid Row. and they will whip out of that on 5th Street, a place where so many people are walking. If you want to know if police care about people, just go see how they operate in Skid Row. They will just drive at 100 miles. I mean, it seems like 100 miles an hour, or from 0 to 60 up 5th Street. If something's going on, 10 cars, and just real fast. And I think about 15 or 20 years ago, they killed somebody on that street corner.
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of
that.
people are sitting outside. They're on the streets. They're
so even if you're
living
in a
outside.
hurry, you don't have to drive through the community that fast to get to where you're going, right? I mean, because you're trying to save a life, then you have to preserve the life that are the lives that are on the way.
Right.
Or why are you trying to save a life? It doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah. Pastor Q, thank you so much for coming in today. If we want to go to church with you, what do we do?
Just come to 245 East 5th Street. It's outside in Skid Row, 7 p.m. every Friday night, and we make it do what it do.
And, of course, creatingjustice.la.
Creatingjustice.la.
For folks that want to get 5 on it for the People's Market.
That's right.
$5 million, $5, $5,000, whatever you got.
Whatever you got, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just quickly, we got just a couple seconds. February 19th, Brown.
The Black and Brown, the Black Brown Clergy and Community Coalition, King Chavez Latino Soul Food Brunch.
Wow. And, of course, the February 3rd is the benefit at First Congregation for creating justice in the People's Market.
Yeah, and I want to say one last thing about our store. When have you ever heard of a Korean family selling their business to a black family or to a black led organization?
On best possible terms.
Right.
Yeah, that's creating justice there.
That's what we do.
Congratulations.
Yes.
KBLA Talk 1580.
1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Former President Donald Trump won't likely be the judge overseeing the case set strict limits on what Trump could say.